Hello everyone and welcome back to Jacqs Scraps. Thanks for joining me today. I have a design team project to share with you for Country Craft Creations, and I'll be using their exclusive Blossoms in Springtime collection. So let's get started. Today's project is a tunnel box card, and I have created this envelope for it. I just used some craft cardstock and then did a little bit of decorating on the front just so that it would match the card itself. Now the envelope is a 6 by 8.5 envelope. So let's go inside to see what we have. So when you pull it out, it looks like this. It's flat, but then you pop it up and we have a tunnel box card. In total, there are 5 pages when you consider the back and the front. It has a 2-inch spine and it is 6 by 6. So to create the tunnel box, I did a lot of fussy cutting as well as used my brother's scan and cut. It was able to cut out a lot of the images from the paper collection. And so what I really cut out were these larger pieces that were kind of entwined with some of the flower. Those were more difficult to pick up for the brother's scan and cut. So I didn't mind because it took off a lot of load from my fingers. So on the front here, I took that really beautiful border of the shoes and the baskets and the hats and cut down a portion of it to add it here. I added some of the bushel of carrots here. I thought those were so cute. We have a water pail on this side and it had a flower pot with it. And what I did was I took one of the images with the little chicks and I fussy cut that out and then layered it behind the flower pot. So it looks like they're just sitting in the flower pot, which I think is super cute. Throughout the project, you'll see Wink of Stella on some of the flowers, and then we have some craft butterflies that have glitter as well, and those are from the Paper Studio. On the front, I also layered some of the flowers and then some of the clovers as well. I think that's what that's called. On the top, I added a sentiment banner that says Hello Springtime, and I kind of made it wavy so that it would look like there's motion in the banner. As we go into the first layer of our tunnel here, I have this little basket of bunnies that I added, and then I did some layering of some floral and greenery here. I added one of the little sheep that was able to be fussy cut out. Again, added some more of the floral here on the sides, another butterfly. And I fussy cut out the dresses, and that is from the cover sheet. So, make sure you use your cover sheets. There's lots of goodness on there, and so that was the perfect size for this project. And then I had some floral that I cut out and added here at the top. For the next layer, you'll see some more layering of the floral that was cut out of the paper. We have a flower pot here on the side, and then this cute one of the lambs. And then this paper already had some design on it, which made it really great and blended in well. The next layer down, I just added this smaller flower pot there. And then our final layer in the center is a little bunny and his little vase of flowers there. When you turn the card over, you'll see an area for you to write your sentiment to whomever you're giving this to, and then you can sign it as well. But you'll see the continuation of that beautiful paper all the way around. So that's my tunnel box card. I had so much fun creating this. It was way easier than it looks. The fun part is really layering all these pieces up together and just creating a scene. So you could use this as a decor piece if you wanted to, or like I said, you could gift this to someone as a card. So that's my project share. I have a tutorial following this portion of the video. I hope you stay around for that. and hope that you create one and share it with me. For those that can't stay, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Now on to the tutorial. For the tunnel card, I'm going to be using Blossoms in Springtime Paper Collection by Country Craft Creations. Next, you're going to need a coordinating cardstock, and today I'm just going to be using some craft cardstock by Recollections. The next thing you're going to need is a die or a tool to create a shape or a template to be able to cut out a shape. And what we're using the dies for is to create the hole in our pages to create that tunnel effect. And the way that I've done it is I've selected every other one going down to the smallest. So I'm missing an inner piece here, here, and here. That will help give you a nice gradation to the center. So you need 4 dies. You can use circle, you can use rectangle, square, whatever you want to use is certainly possible to use. The next thing I would suggest is to have a lot of ephemera pieces or die cuts. I did some hand cutting of some of the floral pieces in this collection so that I could have some to add to each of my pages. And then I also use my scan and cut for additional pieces. So you're definitely going to need some of these items to adhere to the pages. Now what I'm going to do is give you all of the measurements for your base cardstock. The first piece you're going to need should measure 6 by 11. For your pages, you're going to need 3 pages that are 7 by 6. The last piece you'll need is for the back of the card, and that will be 6 by 6. The next thing I did was went through the paper in the collection and I selected the ones that I wanted to use for my pages. And what I then did was identified the area that I wanted to be the decorative page, and then I cut those out. So I cut out a 6 by 6 piece in the top corner of this decorative paper, and so that will actually go on to one of my 6 by 7 pages in the front. Okay, so that was one. Here's the next page that I selected, again cutting out a 6 by 6 square, and that will go on another page. Here's the next one that I cut out in this corner. And when you're trying to decide, think about the shape that's going to be cut out and what's around it, and then that should help you. And then this will be my third one. And then I want this page to be the front, so that will go on the long one in the center. And then this will get cut out here. But I wanted the script and the floral to be around it, so that's why I chose that one. So that's what I mean. You have to think about, you know, what part is going to be cut out. Yeah, here's my dies. So let's say if this was the second one, the actual image in the center is going to be cut out, but then think about what's around it. Okay? So really a decorative cardstock that has a nice background is really perfect for this type of project, because you're really going to be cutting out the center of any of these main pieces. Next, we're going to do some scoring, and we're taking our largest piece with the long end across the top, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch, 2.5, 8.5, 10.5. Next, we're going to be scoring on our 3 pages. So this is the 7 by 6. Put the 7 across the top, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch and 6.5. You want to do that to all 3 of your pages. The next thing we're going to do is take our decorative paper and adhere it to our cardstock. When you adhere the pages, you're going to do that between the 1/2 inch score lines. So right here in the center. So it will look like that. For the larger piece, you're going to adhere it between the 2 inner score lines. So this was at the 2.5 and the 8.5. So you'll put your piece here in the center again. Okay, so go ahead and glue all of those down. Okay, I have my decorative papers added to my cardstock. I did want to mention that I use Tim Holtz Distress Ink Frayed Burlap. I just find that's a really neat color. It's kind of green, kind of brown. And I was trying not to once again use vintage photo. So when I inked, I actually, for the top piece, I inked all the way around my decorative piece. And then I folded my 2 score lines and I inked here and here as well. For the pages, I inked only the top and the bottom. The sides are going to be on the inside of our piece here, so you're not going to see them. Now that we have all of that done, our next step is to take our dies and place them in the center of our decorative piece. I'm using some of this tape. I got this from scrapbook.com. I like it better than the purple tape. So I'm just kind of guessing here where I think it should go. And then I'm going to do the next one down. That is this one. Now, a good way to do this is you could set them all up and then run them through. But to be safe, we could cut this one first and then come back and line this one up. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'll go cut this one and then come back. Okay, I've cut this out. Now, how neat is this? I like those dies. Okay, we can make cards out of this. All right. So there's that one. Next, we'll take this piece. We're going to line this up. There. I'm just going to use one of these to hold it in place here. Then we take the next die. See, this way you have a better idea of how to center your piece. So definitely recommend this over just lining them up blindly. Okay, I'm going to cut that out. So we have this and then this. I'm questioning my selection on this. Because what we'll see is this around here. So I don't know that I'm liking that. So I think I'm going to change this piece, the decorative piece, to either this white one or the pink or mauve polka dot one. But I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut the blue one out first. And then we'll just let one of those be the back side, or be the last one. Okay. So I'm just going to put these two down here for a moment. Let's line these up. So I'll go cut this out and I'll be back. Okay, so I've cut the center out of this one. So now we can see what it's looking like. Again, I'm just lining up. So like these line up like that. And then I'm lining those up right where the score lines fold. Okay. I am loving the color gradation here. I'm liking that. So our next one, do we want it to be white? And don't really look at what's, you know, the animals here, because it's that would actually get cut out. So let's think more like like that, I guess. Do we want white or... Oh, I think I'm liking the pink. I didn't think I would like the dots. So it would probably look something like that, this cut out. Let's try this one again. Let's see. I mean, this would actually be the 6x7 spot, and then this would be cut out. So what would be around it would be the animals. I could then take this centerpiece, put it on our back page, and you would just have some dimension there from these animals to that one, to the bunny. I wonder how that would look. Might be kind of cool. Okay, I'm gonna go with the white, even though I did like the pink. I'm just not sure about the dots. I think it might ruin the aesthetic. Okay. So what I'm going to do is cut out my 6x6, put this on there and cut it out, and then I'll come back because I have to re-glue that onto my cardstock. I'm just gonna glue right over this one or maybe to the back of it. It really doesn't matter. Okay, so I've cut out the last piece. And then here's the little piece. So you see what I mean? Like maybe have it like that. That might be kind of cute. We'll have to see. All right, let's line these up and see what they look like here all together. Yeah, I really like that. Because this is like a, oh my goodness. Okay, I almost put that together upside down. Be careful of directional paper. Oh my goodness, is this one upside down too? Yes. All right. Definitely matters since there's script on there because you can tell sometimes. So let's talk about the two side panels. So when we fold this back, it would look like this. Then we have two side panels that we need to cover. There are two options that you have here, but really there are more than that. You can take your decorative paper and cut out a 2x6 panel and adhere that to the side. So when you do, it will be kind of like a seamless, semi-seamless, going from the front to the side. You won't see any of the craft. Or what you could do is cut this decorative piece down to 1 3/4 by 5 3/4, and then you would have, kind of the craft showing there, looking like that. I think what I'm going to do is the 2x6. I like that idea. Because I may do something here in the fold. I'm not sure yet. So those are some options for you. Do what you like. I'm going to ink these up and adhere them. Okay, so here it is all glued down. Now what we're going to do is turn this over. We're going to bring out our pages. We're going to work on the right hand side where we have our 1/2 inch score line. We're going to take our next biggest hole in the series here. We're going to add adhesive to the 1/2 inch strip. And then we're going to take that and adhere that right up to where the score line is on the base page, okay? So it will be like that. This will be folded this way. We'll take the next one, add adhesive, and then we're going to butt that one up to this one. So it would go here. And then that one would fold over. You see what we're doing, creating a staggered adherence there. And then our next one, add adhesive here, and then add that here. And that gets folded over. Make sure these are all in alignment when you do that. And then burnish really good. Okay? Okay, everything I just said is good, except for I gave them to you in the wrong order. You put the smallest one first, then the next one, then the next one. Because it ends up being staggered like this. So you want the next biggest one to be near the big one. Okay? Let's do this. So you're just butting it up right there, making sure these are in alignment. Butting that up to this one. Again, making sure these two pieces here are lined up, nothing's cockeyed. I'd fold that over and check it here as well. And then I would go back and burnish. Just want to make sure everything is straight and in alignment. Then we take our second largest. So when we're looking at our piece, we're adding adhesive to the left-hand side to go on the right-hand side of our base piece. Okay, let's put this one up. Again, I'm just checking it. Make sure these are straight. Folding it over, make sure all of these are straight. And we are good. And burnish. So if we went like this, we're halfway done. This is actually pretty easy to put together. I don't know why we don't make more of these. Okay, next we have our three little pages here. What we're going to do is add adhesive to each of these 1/2 inch little panels all at the same time. Okay, now make sure, so we're looking at it like this. We're going to hold these down and lift this over. So the other side panel will be underneath, okay? And then you fold this panel over, lay it on top, make sure everything is in alignment. See? So this is what it looks like. Our left side panel is folded under. The right hand panel is on top, and we've just adhered it to our pages. Look at that, magic. Burnish really good. And everything's aligned. I love it. I'm even going to kind of slide this over the other way and burnish again. Now we're ready to work on the last page of our tunnel card. So we have 2 1/2-inch hinges left here, and our 6x6 piece will get adhered to those 2 hinges. You don't adhere it just like this. You want to put down some decorative paper because you'll just see craft if you're using craft. So what I did was I added the pink polka dot paper, and I'm going to use that in the center. And then I'll put my little bunny down in there to cover the dots. And I like that look. So now it's really just a matter of gluing it down. So I think the easiest thing to do would be to add adhesive to one of these little strips. Oh, and I mentioned you may, if you want to ink the insides of where you made your cuts, it's easier to do that before you adhere all your pages together. I forgot, and so I had to do it afterward. It was a little hard. Okay, so now we're just going to press this on top of the 1/2-inch piece. Again, making sure everything is lined up. And burnish. Now let's do the same thing over here. Gonna let that fold out a little bit, and then we'll add our adhesive. Now if you want, you could add it to the insides of the flap, but I think it's easier just to do this, quite frankly. So then we're going to match these up, and it's easier if you just fold it down, match everything up, make sure it's all in alignment again, and burnish. Easy peasy, folks. Love it. Okay, so there it is. Now the next thing you do is decorate it. Okay, off camera, I went ahead and kind of laid all of my pieces out that I want to use for the tunnel card. So they haven't been inked. They're not completely glued down. You see I have pieces layered on top of each other. But I wanted to give you an idea of what you should do after the tunnel card is created, the base. You take your pieces parts and then you just start laying them out where you want them. I even added some little sticker butterflies, and these are from Stickabilities, the paper studio from Hobby Lobby. As you can see, it's from a clearance time, so that was probably a couple years ago. But I just love the craft in the butterfly. I think it just goes with this whole feel. So now what I'm going to do is actually ink and glue everything down. Also on for my little banner here at the top, I've kind of trained it going up and down because I want it to look like there's movement within the banner itself. One more thing before I get started. Note that I have some pieces that are hanging out over the side. It'll be okay because our card can lay flat. so it won't hurt it. You may want to have one side that's not hanging out so much, because you're going to have to make your envelope that much bigger for one side. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now that the front of my card is done, let's take a look at the back. Now, because this is craft, you could actually maybe just put a little decoration on here, let's say, and they would be able to figure out that that is where they need to put their sentiment and sign the card, right? But what I decided to do was take another 6x6 piece of the cardstock, and this again matches that same sheet that I've been using to cover the sides and the front. And then I used that same die again, this die, the largest one, and then I cut a piece of white cardstock out, inked around the edges, and then just added it here to this page. And I kind of like that. I wanted it to have some type of decor, and I liked using the same paper because it was just easier. So I'm just going to add this. And to do that, the best way is to probably flatten it out. Add it on one side. And then onto the next side. Again, making sure the sides are straight. This also provides more strength to the box. Yeah, I like that. Really pretty. So now if you use this as a decor piece, it's going to look good on all angles. The next thing we want to do is figure out what size envelope that we need. So the side that I have more hanging out on is the side I'm going to press down, because that will be covered by our 2-inch side here. So I'm going to measure from that end of that side all the way to the point where our decorative paper is going beyond our box, and that's 8.5. And then you measure widthwise, and that is 6. So if we look at our punch board, there is a 6 by 8.5 here, and you need 11.5 by 11.5 sheet of paper. I'm using craft. And then we will, our score line will be at 4 7/8. And so look, this will fit in there, and then we will have plenty of room. Okay, so there's the envelope. I did just put a little bit of decor on there, a place for a stamp, your address, and then just some little images. Really cute. And then if you open this up, now because this is a little bit dimensional, you will have to hold this down to fold over the top of your envelope. But it fits in there really nicely. So that is the project for today. I hope you enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun to create. It's fun to start layering things and seeing how one thing looks behind another. It's just kind of fun, especially when there's animals, to get them all layered in there. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any future videos. And that's it. I hope you give this a try. If you do, please tag me. I would love to see it. Thanks a lot, everyone. I'll see you next time.